Welcome to the Creative Freedom Plan, a podcast and membership hosted by yours truly, Michael Emily Schuster. I'm here to empower creatives like you with the training you need to become full-time, financially free online entrepreneurs. On this podcast, I'm sharing all of my best strategies, wisdom, and mindset shifts that will allow you to self-actualize as a creative, build the business of your dreams, and become truly free. Hi, hello, welcome back to the Creative Freedom Plan podcast. Welcome if you're new here and just joining us for the first time. My name is Michael. I am your host of the show, and we have an incredible episode planned for you today, all about showing up face to camera on social media, which if you're in the business of creating a financially free, a personally free lifestyle for yourself, you're gonna be in the creative entrepreneurial space. And I think we all have a pretty good inclination that social media is the incredible opportunity that we have in our lives today that allows us to create businesses that allow us freedom, time freedom, space freedom, work from anywhere freedom, access anyone in the world with our message at any point in time kind of freedom. So it's an incredible opportunity that we have at our fingertips. The trouble is, many of us would be creative entrepreneurs or blossoming creative entrepreneurs have an aversion to showing up face to camera, to actually recording our faces and our voices and showing up on social media. So my response to that has been to host the No Matter What social media challenge, where I just record myself every single day for 30 days straight, post it to my stories on Instagram and Facebook, and I've invited my audience to join along for 2 years in a row now. So I've done this twice, and this past year, there was quite a bit more buzz around the challenge. And in the wake of that challenge, I've had a lot of people who are jumping in, who are applying themselves to the No Matter What challenge and showing up, and it's been inspiring. It's been incredible to watch the women in my world, the creative entrepreneurs in my world showing up and speaking their message, speaking their story, speaking their truth. But I know for as many women who have shown up for the challenge, there are just as many, if not more, who are held back by fear, by that little voice inside, that little inner critic that hates the way they sound on camera, hates looking at recordings of themselves. I know I've been there, even though I have a ton of experience showing up face to camera, recording over 200 vlogs of my life and publishing them on YouTube over 5 years' time. I know. I know what it's like to have the butterflies, to have the sweats, to have the mouth dryness when you go to press record and you want to share something meaningful and valuable with an audience, but the words get caught in your throat and there's still a lot that comes up for us. So I am recording this episode as a very practical, applicable training to help you show up face to camera on social media so that you could do your very own version of the No Matter What challenge. I've got a habit installation protocol, 7 steps that will help you install virtually any positive habit that you want. And I have some prompts and best practices to share with you for getting started with sharing your message on stories face to camera. So that's what's coming for you in the episode. I also just have a lot of mindset shifts and tips and things that I've learned along the way to riff on. So that's what we are diving into today. But first, a word from our sponsor. Our sponsor for this episode, for the show, is my own damn company, Creative Business Accelerator. This is my signature offer for creative entrepreneurs that takes you from step 1 to done of setting up and delivering an incredible creative online business, how to optimize your business by leveraging social media, coming up with your offer, doing market research to validate your offer and find out who exactly you're here to serve. There is so much packed into this program, and it is really the premier offer for creative entrepreneurs to learn how to thrive in the online business landscape. So that is our sponsor for the show. If you would like to learn more, you can visit creativebusinessaccelerator.com. You can always send me a message on Instagram if you would like to get involved. And with that note, let's get into the episode. The first thing I just want to say about speaking face to camera and putting your face and your voice out there as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, is that it's important. This might seem obvious, but why is it important? It's important because human beings connect with other human beings. We don't connect with corporations, with entities, with logos, with businesses. And when we do business with other human beings. We invest with other human beings. Even when we're buying products, a lot of the time, what convinces us to buy a product or, you know, invest in a company is the person who's using the product, the owner of the company, or, an influencer that we have a relationship with who convinces us that this is going to be a good thing for us and our life because it's a good thing for them and their lives. So, bottom line, it all just comes down to relationships. And the beautiful thing about social media is that it allows you to become a friend and a trusted advisor to literal strangers on the internet that you've never met before and wouldn't otherwise have any contact with because they might be in an entirely different corner of the globe. But we have this incredible networking opportunity thanks to social media to reach people, to grow businesses, and to create freedom for ourselves. But that's done through relationship building, and face to camera is the fastest way to build those connections with other people, faster than a photo, faster than a line of text. It's really the best form of media to form connections and relationships. So that's why it's so important, first and foremost. And yes, there are a ton of online business experts out there, people who will tell you that you can build a business, you can build a following just by writing text and publishing text, just by publishing photos, like video isn't necessary, strictly speaking. And that's true. It's not necessary, strictly speaking, but it is the fastest way to form connections with people outside of in person interactions. Like, think about it. When you want to talk to somebody, your friend or your partner, your spouse, family member, and you can't meet up in person, you're going to video chat with them, right? Like, you might call them, but if you want to, like, get a feel for them, see their facial interactions, like, have this connection with them, even though you're not really looking each other in the eye, you're looking at each other through a camera lens or a webcam, it's still a much stronger connection than just speaking to them on the phone or texting with them. And this is what speaking face to camera does for you and for your audience. But how do we get started? It's really as simple as pressing record and just ripping the band-aid off. And I know that that's an oversimplification of it, but that is the truth that I just want us to keep coming back to is that it is simple. All you have to do is hold your phone in front of you and press record and say something. Say, your name, talk about what you're up to today, and that's it. And you will get better over time. So I know, like, the first time that you do this, your heart will be pounding out of your chest. It's going to be nerve-wracking. You might feel like you need to do 10 or 12 different takes, but resist that urge and just buy into the idea of evolution. Buy into the idea that you're going to put some shit out there in the beginning in order to evolve and get better over time so that a year from now, you're going to feel natural and effortless. But the only way that you get to feel natural and effortless a year from now is if you start today and actually just commit to showing up on camera on a regular basis. So, first thing, I want to talk about a habit installation protocol for approaching this challenge. So, this challenge is for you if number one, you feel called to it, and number two, you feel a little bit intimidated and scared by it. That means that there is enormous growth potential for you here. And I will tell you from my own experience that this challenge creates insane momentum personally in your business because what it does when you have this intention of showing up and speaking on camera, sharing a message, sharing something valuable with your audience every single day for 30 days, it puts you into this mindset of consistent reflection and like combing through your experiences to extract the value and the relevancy out of it. And this is phenomenal for content creation. It's phenomenal for just adding value to other people's lives. And it's phenomenal for just reflecting on your own experiences, which, in my opinion, is like the number one habit for growth. And your business growth mirrors your personal growth. So the more you can embrace a habit of self reflection, the faster you can align with exponential growth in your personal life and in your business. So let's dive into the habit installation protocol, and I will go over these incredible steps to actually make this happen for good and make this part of your reality. So, the habit installation protocol. There are 8 steps. Excuse me, I said there were 7 steps before. There's actually 8 now that I'm looking at my document. And the 8th step is very, very important. So we're going to get there, but we got to start with step 1, right? Okay. So step 1, identify the habit. We've identified the habit. It's going to be the no matter what challenge. But like I said, this is something that you can apply to any positive habit that you want to install. So you might want to grab a notepad, you might want to grab a pen and make some notes, pause the recording as we go. I'm going to go through it in real time and just kind of let you know the entire breakdown. But step 1, you got to identify the habit. You got to know what the intention is, what we're going to do. Yeah, so we've identified our habit. Step 2, you are going to choose your start date and you're going to choose your frequency and intensity. Now, let me break this down a little bit further so you know exactly what we're talking about. So, the start date. Decide when you will get started. So, this is like choosing a deadline. And I recommend choosing a date that's at least a week out, but probably less than a month off into the future. Now, if you're looking at doing this for 30 days, starting on the first of the month is kind of a no-brainer because that just, you're doing it for the whole month. It's a nice, clear picture in your head. I would recommend starting on the first of the month. Deciding the frequency. So, when do you want to do this? Is this going to be a first thing in the morning? Is this going to be last thing at night before you go to bed? Is it going to be midday? Is it going to be whenever throughout the day? But when are you going to do it? I think it's really important to be clear on this. And, let's be honest. If you have the intention to do it first thing in the morning, that's probably going to be best before other things happen throughout the day that get in the way. Or you can set a reminder for 1 o'clock, and you just know every day at 1 o'clock, you'll have had your morning to kind of reflect and prepare. And at 1 o'clock, boom, you're hitting record and you're capturing that video. Now, I will say, as I've done this challenge, I don't post in real time. Like most of my stories that I record, I don't post in real time. I record them throughout the day. I take pictures throughout the day, and then I sit down at the end of the day and I kind of curate them and I put them out there. And this is what I've done with the No Matter What challenge as well. So I will record things like kind of throughout the day as inspiration strikes, or I might catalog a process that I'm going through, kind of like a behind the scenes. And then at the end of the day, I'll put it out there. So just some things to kind of help you think about this, help you wrap your mind around it and how you want to approach it. And then frequency. So, is this a daily commitment, every other day, 5 times a week, weekly? Um, this challenge in particular, it's a daily commitment. So we can kind of sidestep this, but I also want you to have this habit installation protocol to apply to other things in your life. So just know that deciding the frequency is important. We want to have all of this clearly outlined, all of the intentions super, super clear before getting started. Now, decide the level of intensity or duration required to call it a win. This is all step 2. I know this is a lot, but start date, frequency, and intensity are all wrapped up to step 2. And I think this is like really the most important part of the intention setting right here. So, my recommendation, make the level of intensity or duration required as little as humanly possible. So, this will require you to humble yourself a little bit. Just remember that consistency beats intensity every single time. So just show up, say something, say anything. There are times in the past when I've been doing this challenge where I just, it's the end of a day, maybe it's been a long day, maybe I'm low on energy, and I just show up and I look at the camera and I say, you know what? It's been a long day. I don't have a lot of valuable information or words of wisdom to share with you, but I'm here. I'm checking in, I'm checking the box, and this is how I know that I've done it. And I'll see you again tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow's a better day, but bottom line, it's done. Good night. And that can be it. Now, you probably don't want that to be it every single time, but even if it was, it's still a win. And you'll still have built that habit and that self-belief and confidence in yourself from showing up for 30 days straight that will prove to yourself that you are the kind of person who can do hard things and you can get out of your own damn way and you can create momentum for yourself. And the sky is really the limit, because if you can do this, you can do anything, right? So humble yourself and make the intensity bar really, really low so that it's almost like it's a no-brainer and you would feel stupid for not actually showing up if all you have to do is, you know, record a single word and that's it. Step 3. Okay, step 3 is like the genius of this method. And I get really, really excited about step 3 because I think it's kind of like, um, what's the word for it? Where it's something that you don't think that would be effective, but it is effective. It's kind of like, anyway, I'm not gonna think of the word. I will tonight as I'm laying awake in bed. Shoot. Okay. Step 3, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't record yourself. Don't post it on your story unless you absolutely want to. So step 3, you've decided what you're gonna do. You've decided the start date, the frequency, the intensity. In step 3, now that you are like in this limbo between having the intention and when you're gonna start, it's very, very important to not do it unless you are like craving and you absolutely want to do it. So you will only do it when you feel like it. This is very important. You will approach it because you want to, with a sense of play and experimentation, or not at all. So, by not doing the thing that you've decided you're committed to, you're actually building a sense of anticipation. So, control yourself here. Don't do it. The anticipation will make you actually excited to get started when the time comes. Even if something that scares you or requires a little bit of discipline to show up for, which, both of these things are true here in the case of speaking on your story, face to camera. So allow yourself to build that anticipation, because this is just really going to light a fire for when you do get started. And it's just going to allow you to hit the ground running. It's so much more powerful than saying, like, oh, I'm going to start tomorrow. I'm going to do this thing tomorrow and I'm going to completely be a different person tomorrow because I'm going to install this habit and I'm going to get started and I'm never going to stop. Like, be realistic. It's so much more powerful to have that start date and build the anticipation and like really hit the ground running when the time comes. So that's step 3. Don't do it. Step 4, enlist help. Find ways to keep yourself accountable while committing to your habit. So, put it on your calendar, set reminders. We already kind of talked about this. Tell 3 friends about the habit. Tell 3 friends before you even get started that you're going to be speaking on your stories and you're a little bit nervous, but you're putting it out there so they know and you know that they know. So when you talk to them, when you see them next, they have permission to check in on you and see how it's going, and then you know that when you see them next, they're going to check in on you and ask how it's going. So you're going to have that accountability cuz you don't want to look stupid. And then the third thing is to make a public announcement, which is kind of embedded in this one because you'll be showing up on social media. So broadcast your intentions, and then you'll be proving that you're doing it by documenting as you go. And then you can look back in your archive on social media and see all of those days filled in your month. And you will have, oh, just such a beautiful sense of fulfillment and satisfaction being like, I said I was going to do it and I showed up and I did it and now it's done. And that's going to feel really, really good. Trust me. Okay. Step 5. Step 5 is put incentives in place. So, there's the example of reward yourself with a coffee. If you're a beverage drinker in the morning and this is something that you really relish and you really look forward to, do the habit first and then make yourself the cup of coffee. Yeah, just find ways to motivate yourself. And if you need to go out to an office supply store and buy, a month calendar thing and some golden stars, do it. If that's going to feel really good, seeing all of those golden stars on your chart on the wall, that's a beautiful thing. Just absolutely commit to that. The public incentives on social media might be the most effective thing for you, but it's important to find ways to reward yourself in little ways. Like maybe there's something that you really want to invest in or you really want to buy, something that you've been holding out on. Like tell yourself that once you complete this challenge that you're going to reward yourself with this thing, and that's going to be your incentive. So just like get creative here around ways that you can reward yourself and be in your own corner and be your own cheerleader through the course of this challenge. It can be daily incentives, it can be weekly incentives, it can be something at the end of the month once you've completed the challenge. But I think it's really important to build these in and be your own biggest supporter. Man, learn to celebrate yourself because especially in the journey of entrepreneurship, not many people are really going to understand what it is that you do aside from your fellow entrepreneurs. And your friends and family might support you, but there won't be that same level of understanding. So you really got to learn to just be your own biggest cheerleader and champion your own efforts because it's nobody else's responsibility to cheer you on but yours. Okay, we're here. We're at step 6. Get started. This is it. When the day finally comes, get everything that you need ready the night before, make a plan, pick out your clothes, and just remove as many barriers as possible so that it's really easy and automatic to get started when the day comes. Decide where you're going to record. Decide if you are going to hold your camera in your hand or if you're going to set it up. Make as many decisions as possible in advance. And if you're a planner, you can decide what you want to talk about every single day. I have some prompts that we're going to go over next that will help you out with this. But yeah, just remove as many barriers as possible so that you don't have to make a ton of decisions and you can just really hit the ground running because it's going to be difficult. So just try to make it as easy on yourself as possible. Step 7 is track your progress. So nothing motivates quite like seeing some sort of physical representation of your efforts. Track your progress on a spreadsheet. You'll be taking videos and you will have that little month thing in your archive on Instagram, for example, where you can see all the little bubbles filled in. If you've never looked at your archive, pull up your social media, go to Instagram, find your archive, and you will see all the days where you've posted stories. And then as you go through this challenge, you'll have that little representation of your progress that's really, really satisfying. If that isn't really going to satisfy you, build your own spreadsheet, put it in your planner. If you're a physical planner, pen and paper notes kind of person, do that as well. Yeah, just find some way of cataloging your efforts that feels satisfying to you. And that's step 7, track your progress. Now, the last and final step 8, is get back on the horse. So we are anticipating that there might be a day that you miss, and that is okay. Missing one day, messing up once is totally forgivable. It's human. It's kind of guaranteed to happen, so you should expect it. But when it does, you need to get right back up and get back on that horse. Because missing one day is completely understandable. Missing 2 days is actually the beginning of forming a new habit. So we can be really, really intentional. And I'm guessing up to this point, you have super solidly, really effectively built the habit of not showing up face to camera on your stories. Proud of you for that. You've really done it. It's totally cemented. But we're going to build a new habit now. And that's going to be the habit of showing up face to camera on your stories. So if you miss a day, don't miss 2 days. That's what this comes down to. Just pick yourself back up, dust yourself off, acknowledge your humanness. Congratulations. It's a beautiful way to be. You're not perfect. We wouldn't really trust you or like you that much if you were perfect. So know that you don't need to be perfect, but you do get to be resilient and you do get to keep going. So you are here to become a conscious co-creator of your reality. And in particular, the reality that you desire to create. So while changing your reality is simple, all you need to do is make small, consistent changes over time and show up for it. It's not easy. So go slow, make incremental changes. Know that these little changes will add up over time and create stunning results. So, like I said in the beginning, think about where you could be a year from now and let that be your inspiration as you go. And know that you might not be thrilled with the kind of content that you record over this next month or whenever you decide to get started with this challenge, but it's not about that. It's about the evolution. It's about who you're becoming in the process and who you're going to be a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now. Like, think about the kind of content that you are going to be poised to create 10 years from now and the kind of person who is going to be so damn grateful that you stuck with it, that you decided to start and you kept going because 10 years from now, your content is going to speak to them on such a profound level. It's going to be life-changing. This is the mindset of sustainable creative entrepreneurship that I'm welcoming you into because this is really what it's all about. This is a calling, and that means that it's not about perfection, it's about evolution. So we're here for it. We're here for your evolution, and I know you are too. Okay, we've gone through the habit installation protocol. Now, I know you are licking your chops for those juicy social media marketing prompts that will give you some ideas for what to talk about as you're getting started in this challenge. So I have 10 content types for you and a couple different prompts associated with all of those different content types. Content types. Okay. Are you ready? Day one of the challenge. What are you going to talk about? Well, the most obvious or the most impactful thing that you could probably share on day one is what you're doing. So this post type is just a little update. It falls under the life/business update category. And here's the prompt. Share what's happening in your world, what's happening in your life, what's happening in your business, or something that you're excited about working on, aka this challenge. It's a great way to begin the challenge, so just simply announce your intention and your why for showing up over the next 30 days. This prompt, the update prompt, is a perfect one to circle back to when you're low on energy or time, or you just simply want to talk about something exciting or relevant that's happening in your day. So, life/business update is really just where you reflect on where you're at, anything that you are working on, anything that you are excited by, just give an update. What's going on? It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple and, it's pretty feel good. Day two, lifestyle and habits. So we have a couple different prompts for the lifestyle and habits content type. So you can talk about your self-care, your wellness habits, and your journey to implementing these habits. Talk about why they are important to you as an entrepreneur. This is your invitation to show and tell, illustrate what your wellness habits look like in addition to talking about them. You can also do like a day in the life. So what is a typical day? What does an ideal day look like for you? And remember that your mundane daily life is inspirational to the people who aspire to the life and business you now enjoy. So think about where you were 3 to 5 years ago and, you know, how your current routine, current lifestyle would have appeared to who you were 3 to 5 years ago. I know personally, I would have been like, damn, wow, that's exactly what I want to be doing. Recording podcasts, living by the lake with my soulmate in a beautiful bungalow and two cute dogs. Hell yeah. Right? So the daily life that I'm now living, it's really important to kind of just reflect and zoom out and be like, okay, this is actually sick as hell. I'm so stoked to be here, even though day to day it kind of just becomes habitual. It just kind of becomes mundane. So remember that. Show and tell, day in the life. That's day two, lifestyle and habits. Day three, values. We love values. We love to know what's important to you and what you stand for. So share your personal and business values. And a great way to sort of catalog this or show and tell is to just capture how you conduct your business in a way that demonstrates what you value. What are your goals? What are you working toward? What is important to you in life? What's important to you in business? These are just the juicy essence of why you're here and what you're all about and what's going to allow other people to resonate with you and resonate with your business, as opposed to another business who offers very similar services or products that you do, but what you stand for and who you are is going to make the difference. Day four is a fun one. Polarize. Ooh, polarizing content. This is where you share your controversial opinion. Whew, spicy. So what's something that you believe that others disagree with? Hmm. Take a stand and be polarizing. You do this to attract your people and to repel the ones that aren't really a match, aren't part of your ideal audience, aren't any of your dream customers, right? So this one can feel a little edgy because, yeah, the goal is to piss some people off, hopefully, and if you see your follower count decrease after you've posted something polarizing, let's celebrate that because they're just opening up space for more aligned people to come in, right? You're not for everyone, and you really want people to know who you are, what you believe and what you stand for before they sign up to do business with you and work closely with you. So be polarizing. Share those controversial opinions. Take a stand. Day 5 is your story. Ooh, we want to hear your story. We want to know where you've been and what you've been through. So share your story. Talk about a challenging point in your journey, in your business or your personal life, and tell us, what lesson did you learn? How did you navigate it? And especially, we want you to share your story in a way that others can relate and apply to their own lives. So you do this by emphasizing the universal aspects of your story and demonstrating how they can be applied by your audience. Day 6 is sharing social proof. So messages, comments, wins. Social proof is simply showing the proof of your methods, demonstrating the value that your content and your business provides through feedback, people commenting on posts, appreciating your message and your content, any messages and conversations that you're having, testimonials, examples of your work, happy customers that you've worked with, or stories of your own experience with your methods. So just really establishing your credibility and authority by sharing these screenshots and testimonials. You can never share too much social proof. Rinse and repeat the same screenshots and testimonials constantly. So here's an example of day 6 and what that can look like. Day 7, value content and lessons. Talk about a problem that your dream customer faces and then illustrate a high-level overview of the steps they would need to take to solve it. And if your offer is the solution, flex your solution and demonstrate exactly how your solution would help them solve that problem in a high-level overview. Day 8 is an applicable training. So again, with the same problem, we can narrow down onto specific steps that can be taken today to solve that problem. Giving steps 1, 2, and 3. This is how you get started. An example of this is what we just went through in the habit installation protocol. So what are the steps? How do you take action today? Versus just the high level overview of like, okay, this is where you are. These are the kinds of things that you need to be focusing on to get to where you want to be. It's a little bit more abstract. It's a little bit more focused on the journey versus like the tangible 1, 2, 3, what needs to happen. Day 9 is a quick win or a hack. So just a quick dopamine hit that brings value to the lives of your ideal audience, your dream customers. This could look like a mindset shift, something that they need to start doing, something they need to stop doing, or something simple that they might be overlooking. A great way to approach all of this kind of value content is to just sit down and brainstorm 30 different problems that your customer or client might be facing, and then write down what the solutions to each of those problems might be. And then this is a content goldmine for how you can show up and give value, solutions, demonstrate your proficiency and your expertise in this field. And then day 10 is going to be emphasizing the pain or the problem. So talk about your dream customers' pains or problems in a way that demonstrates you know exactly what it feels like to be them. You can empathize with what they're going through, and you remind them that it doesn't have to be this way and they don't have to go through it alone. If you've experienced the same pain or problem that they feel, talk about your journey with it, how you overcame it, and be that example and that inspiration that proves like, hey, if I went through this and overcame it and I now have a system, I now have a method, like there's hope for you too. So how can they overcome the place where they are feeling stuck? These are 10 prompts, 10 different content types with a lot of different prompts that you can rinse and repeat as you are approaching this speaking to camera 30-day no matter what challenge on social media. So if I went a little quick and you weren't able to get all those notes down, feel free to listen again, pause the recording, make some notes, come up with some ideas of your own. Like I said, that brainstorm is going to be a content gold mine. If you can really clearly identify and articulate 30 different problems that your dream customer might be experiencing. And I've talked about this in the past, but likely your dream customer, your dream client is going to be kind of an archetype of yourself, but 3 to 5 years ago. So just think about what you are experiencing or the problems that you are facing and brainstorm those solutions so that you have them ready at hand to share some valuable content and some valuable messages as you go through this challenge. But remember, it can be as simple as just showing up and sharing an update and just cataloging your own story and evolution through the course of the month. That is it. That is your training on showing up face to camera. In the beginning, I reminded you that it's really as simple as just pressing record and doing it, hitting publish, facing the fear and just moving through and making it happen on a consistent basis. But now you have some tools in your tool belt. You have the habit installation protocol. You have 10 different prompts to reference to help you get ideas and inspiration going as you approach this challenge. So tell me when you plan to start and be sure to tag me in your stories as you go through this challenge because I would love to cheer you on as you go. I would love to share your stories with my audience and just give you that exposure and be in your corner every step of the way, encouraging you as you commit to the no matter what social media challenge. All right, that concludes our episode here today. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Creative Freedom Plan podcast. And if you loved it so much you'd like to shout from the rooftops and share it on social media, be sure to screenshot, tag me at Michael Emily Schuster, and share it to your story so I can stalk your profile and we can connect over there. Much love to you, and I will see you in the next episode.